Can you hear me now? 5 5 or 5 5 5 5? I can't believe this. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me now? I guess she left. Oh my goodness. Let me come back. Yes. Can you hear me now? Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. You're the only one out there, by the way. I don't know. I'm total technical difficulty. Thank you for the 5 5. Thank you, Cheryl. All right. I phew, lost my whole train of thought here. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like this. I can't believe these people are actually a man who works in the warehouse in Ontario. Is that Canada or that's California? I'm Canada. Like, yeah, I think it was. I think it was. So, anyways, that's not what I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, anyways, I was talking about the data centers and how many of you guys actually know. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Phyllis. And Cheryl, thank you so much. Yeah, so I was talking about the data centers, and what's really concerning me about these data centers, do you guys, it's kind of like all of a sudden the government decides that they want these data centers, and I just had the list up there of all these freaking data centers, and Texas is growing by leaps and bounds with the data centers, and uh, they've got their own resource, they're on their own grid, they're basically leading with the amount of data centers. It's all in AI. It's all let's beat China type of thing is all that I'm getting out here. So all these data centers, 135 of them in Texas. Yeah, there's plenty of land, but it's gonna go back to where I was saying earlier, Joni Mitchell put up a parking lot, right? You never know what you got until it's gone. They're gonna take all of the land and, you know, um, who's regulating this? And I've never heard Trump talk about this. You know, yeah, they're using all the fresh water. So what China's actually doing is they're sticking it in the ocean, right? So China's dumping it in the water because they don't have any land, but they're using it. They're sealing all this stuff up, and as I was saying, I think that might be a better option for us, right? Instead of taking, it's just okay, if I could just frickin' say this. If China came in and took our land and then supposedly Gates came in and took our land and they don't want to feed us, they want to use the land for all this other stuff. It just seems like it's never ending. There are all these land grabbers out there, right? If it's not one thing, it's another. Then they're going to tell you that you're going to the moon. And it can go on and on and on. But and then they tell you, "Oh, this is just a movie." This is happening, folks. This is actually happening. All these data centers, 135 of them in Texas and Virginia, right on their heels of if you live in Virginia, let me know what it looks like over there because it's 134. And if you get into like then it drops down from Georgia's 51, Arizona's 35, Indiana's got 21, Mississippi, and then and then you get into like all these other blue collar states that look like they're trying to be competitive out there. But you've got Wyoming, Alabama, New York, Tennessee, all have 7 of these things that are going up. What the hell? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Cheryl's got a great comment here where she's saying they're using all the fresh water. And China's if they're using the salt water, but they're putting these things into tubes, as I was saying earlier. Who is regulating all this? Who is behind all this? Hi, Dragon Wings. It's so good to see you. Where you been, girl? Yeah, let's see here. What else? Well, I had I actually was hearing bits and pieces of it. None of this was on mainstream media. And then I went out and I said to an AI and I just said, is it true? If where are they building these things at? And I got a list. I got a list of 23 places in 23 states, I should say, and there's multiple data centers and all these things. And yeah, it's accurate. This is an accurate list that you're looking at on screen right now as of February 26th. 140 of them in March. So when we look at the list up here, it says Texas says 135. They went up another 5 in 1 month. All right, they may have the land and all that, but so Texas and Virginia are leading in all this. But let's see here. Okay, Texas says, well, we got our own power grid, right? We've got our own um, ERCOT is their electric reliability council of Texas. That's their own grid that they've got going on there. So, in other words, if they're running low on resources, they don't have to jump over to the next state, right? What the What is that? I got something going on here. Sorry about that, you guys. It just freaked me out. Okay, I think there was a delay here on one of my channels. I don't know what's going on with the technology. They are working on our internet here. They did warn us about this, so this could be part of my problems. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah. Let's see. Phyllis was telling me that she could hear me. Thank you. No sound on Rumble. Somebody else was saying BVA. Thanks. So I hope you got the sound out there now. They're using all the fresh water. Dragon Wings is saying hello. She says, "Sorry, I've been so absent." Oh, don't worry about it. Life. It's all about life. Never have to apologize, right? And then also, um, take Paradise and put up a parking lot. We have candidates who want to stop the development and preserve our water and land. We're running out of our water here in Central Florida. Um, yeah, fresh water, right? Yeah. Why do we need all those data centers? Exactly, Dragon Wings. Why do we need so many of them? So 140 in Texas, and they're not done yet. Have you guys seen the size of these things here? Let's see here. This post right here, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Wyoming, South Dakota, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Mexico. The Oligard is the water resources that Texas and other states rely heavily upon for agriculture and irrigation. It's being drained faster and being replenished. The water needs the data centers near Amarillo and will end growing crops in Texas Panhandle in 20 years. If somebody is reporting this and there's a little grid down below here, it says the high plains. What is this? I thought we were cleaning up stuff. I thought we were cleaning up the goddamn government. Sorry that I'm swearing, but yeah, BVAs, give me a thumbs up. It's all fine now. Thank you, BVA. Appreciate it. Let's see here. You forgot Colorado. Here's our AI data center information, and we need to stop this. This is coming from Michael Thomas out there, was basically saying explore these databases and stuff like that. So let's see what else we have here. Notice how media and government is hyping up the water shortages because it takes millions of gallons a day to cool the high tech equipment in the data centers. Now, let me see if I understand this correctly. Trump went to California and says they were holding up all the water. Were they reserving all this water for the planning of the stuff? Was this part of something that was done and now they're moving forward with it because they're releasing all this water? What is going on here? My head is spinning like a top. I can't put two and two together. I don't trust anything anymore. Somebody start giving us some answers. Odd that they would build so many in Arizona. It's a freaking desert. How many of you guys are with me on this? Well, it goes back to the same old thing. You had Doge for finding out the spending. I want to know Doge for the land. One minute you've got someone saying Gates was stealing all the land. China was stealing all the land to plant stuff. Now, excuse me. Now is it our government people that are doing this? I have no answers for any of this. You guys have any answers out there? What is Cheryl saying? And they don't affect people too? Yeah. Why do we need all those data centers? That's just a question. That's Dragon Wing's great question out there. And let's see what we have here. This is the noise coming from a hyperscale data center. I can't play the sound for you guys, but Residents who live nearby said that they can no longer open the windows in their own homes because the noise is very, they are worried about something. Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet Google have each recent abandoned construction of a multi-billion-dollar data center over community opposition, and now the companies are coming under shareholders' pressure over the environmental impact of their project. When was this post? This was 17 hours ago. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Why isn't this? You would think that this shit would be on mainstream media, right? Because it's their bullshit. At least 16 sites eye level for the data center in Michigan, in Alabama? No, and amid AI boom. Here's where, oh my God, look at all this. Oh, hey, Paradise, put up another parking lot, or let's make it a little, the song a little bit more current. Hey, Paradise, put up another data center. Mother Nature starts shaking their asses. I'm a telling you. So here we go, you guys. This is what I'm saying. All right, y'all. All right, yeah. You guys got any questions on this? I might have had all the answers, but I've got some cards, and I think that Spirit will sure as heck help us out here because I don't understand any of this. I really don't. It's just mind boggling what they're doing out there. It really is. And so, with that said, if you guys got any questions, I mean, is this affecting you guys in the area that you live? It's in Alabama. I don't know where it's at. I really don't know where it's at. Data centers are dangerous. They poison the environment. This is a picture that somebody put there. I don't know if this is true or not. Um, let's see. Things are about to kick off in high gear. Cleanup is coming. Yes, cleanup is coming. Who's going to clean it up? Have you guys heard Trump and his administration talk about these data centers? I heard him talk about Nvidia, the chip company, an AI company, and their stocks are off the charts. And they were kind of concerned that silver was rising at the price that it did. And then somebody put the kibosh on the silver a couple months back, where it was like over 100. Now it's like down to 70. Something is going on here. Yes, this should be a tinfoil hat. It really should be. You pay the data centers electricity bills. Keep asking, grow questions in the comments. You read. I won't read that. Keep using ChatGPT. And somebody is saying, I don't know who this is. She's very hateful, but go away. All right, so they're saying there's a lot of water that is needed to cool these data centers, a lot more than if it was in the ocean, as China is doing it. And so we rush to take all the land. We rush to to build all of these. And this is as of February 2026. And what I just saw is that they're growing rapidly. Texas is at 140 already. I don't know, you guys. I just, uh, yeah, and what are these data centers for? What are we going to do with them, right? And let me just tell you what I asked these questions. I don't know if Croak is the person I'm supposed to be asking these questions. I use the AI for this, but you guys have questions out there, let me know because this is just something. Let's see here. What else do we have here for you guys? We got to get past all this other stuff. Okay. So, they say that there's key benefits of underwater seawater cooling. Why can't we do the same thing? Why are we taking all of this beautiful land? Ocean water at the depth stays cool. It's stable all year round. Z- uh, Zero fresh water, no evaporate cooling or large wastewater withdrawn. Leave our fresh water alone. Go to the ocean. And then of course, there's going to be a lot of other things about that. Putting these data centers down there, right? Maran. All right. Faster deployment. Modular capsules can be used to build in shipyards, towed and sunk. no sprawling campuses, lower latency for coastal user facilities near population centers, China coastal. This is for China's coastal project. You know, yeah, sorry, Dragon Wings. It is frustrating, as she is pointing out here. South Carolina has been inundated by the chemtrails today. Has it really? For once, I'm seeing the sun out there. It's cool though, and I'm not complaining. I won't complain when it's cool down here because once they turn that thermostat up down here, I'll be bitching about how hot it is. But yeah, this is just so what data is so important all of a sudden, and why do they require so much electric power? What kind of equipment is going inside them? Something is very wrong. This is not coming from me. This is coming from this guy here. He's talking about this, and they're basically saying, you got to ask these questions, and somebody has to give us these answers. Is it really the race that beat China? What do you guys think? Come up with some good questions, and I'll do a flip of one or two and see, because I'm seeing a lot more readers out there that have the questions, but you know the answers aren't what they were thinking they should be, but until they pull the cards, and that's where I'm kind of going with this. All right, so I guess Amazon is going to agree to $20 million in settlement allegations that I talked to about already. More than 3,000 data centers are already operating nationwide. Did you know this? Did you know this? 3,000 of them? Residents near the data centers are seeing as much as 50% increase in their electric bill. Anybody out there that lives near one of these, please come onto my channel. I'm a small channel. I just need to talk to you, ask some questions, see what's going on. If you've got video, send it to me. Please, I want to know what's going on here. Let's see what else we have going on here. There's just more shooting, shooting, shooting. Let's see here. Yeah. Data centers. There are a million stories out on X on the data centers. And what can you find out on mainstream media? There are some people that are actually talking about this. All right, so you do have some from news stations out there, 2028/22. Never, I have no idea where they're from. Um, let's see here. Who else do we have? All right, so the people are voting out these data centers. Do you guys know that? I think it was in Nashville. Big bucks were offered to somebody for their land, and they said no, and they're still going back and fighting for it. Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's see here. So let's see here. There's people that are out there. This is the time that we step up and we say something. Is this part of the movie? I have no idea, you guys. I'm just as confused and frustrated as everybody else is out there. Um, yeah, there's more about the war that's going on out there. Let's see here. So I think that's everything on the actual data centers out there. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about health. And what is this here? Somewhere in these ashes is a show. Okay. So if you guys follow YouTube at all, and there are a ton of people doing um, Tatera stuff out there from going back years, and people are digging on this stuff. I mean, literally about the flood muds. There's so much more information out there, but one question is why? Why do they keep resetting any life on this planet over and over? You have to think about this stuff. What is it that each time that they do this, what is it? Obviously, it's money, it's health, it's the planet, it's whatever it might be. Let's see what is going on in wealth. There are 193 countries receive taxpayers. I'm not going to do that one story there. Bear with me. I want to talk about the weather a little bit. Um, Chemtrail pilot whistleblower. Doo-doo-doo-doo. So you guys know this? Seriously, do you know when they pick these pilots, they have no family or children? Over 80% of geoengineering pilots don't have a family, or 80%, or don't have children. They are handpicked and specifically targeted to someone who has no one to care about them. Why do you think they're doing this? Why do you think that they're doing this? They're kept in a dark, secret world. Let's see what you guys are saying. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything on here. Dragon Wings is saying she just wants self-sustaining farms where she can help the animals. Yeah, yeah. Well, they. I don't want to go there. You guys have any questions? Please, please, please let me know. I'd be glad to just see however you phrase the question. Put it out there. Put it out there. Every time humanity starts waking up, what does she got there? Starts waking up, they reset and they're afraid of us. We are powerful. What's the one thing that makes us powerful? What's the one thing that makes us powerful? Yeah. Yeah. So the mind is so manipulative. I told my husband every time that they go to reset, right? It's a level of consciousness. That's how I have to look at this, you guys. We are at the point where our consciousness is wide awake in our it's all aligned with our heart and our mind and our soul at this particular time, and it's never happened like this before. And so what do we do? Do we let them continue? And so the mind come through the television, whatever year television was invented, right? And how was it done before those technologies were done before, right? They would just take what they wanted. If you were in a family and you had 6 kids and they decided you didn't need all those kids, they took whatever they want and they're continuing to take whatever they want. I'm just I'm not, I'm just basically telling you what I'm seeing and what has been been repeated and repeated and repeated. Um, let's see here. Who's this speaking? Cheryl. So is this the Great Reset or the Great Awakening? Yeah, I don't know. Let's ask that question. Let's ask that question because it's a great question. Or is it both? Can it be both at the same time? This is Cheryl, you're brilliant. You are brilliant. Is this the Great Reset or the Great Awakening? Let's see what we get. Spirit guide us. Please give us some answers. And everybody always says this is God, it's a spiritual war and everything else. But we gotta know. We're asking the questions. We gotta know. This is something the first thing I get is the communication with any of this is the sands of times and definitely the two worlds that we are living the two worlds and I want to say it's never been done like this before where we're awake and we're seeing what they had done to us and then possibly the spiritual stuff of where we're going with this. But we're living through this as tough as it can be. There's definitely they are definitely rebuilding, so that tells me it is somewhat of a reset. Let me see what else I get here. Um, I get a 17 on this one here, you guys. And it's called The Lookout. And it doesn't look very good. I can't come too close. All right. And it's just basically, it was in a shadow position, which is good, which is really good. So in other words, we've been through a lot of this shit already, right? We're on a boat, it's burning, and we're still looking. We're still looking out, and they're telling me right now that it's upside down, which is saying that we're past all that. But we are coming into the most spiritual time right now. And this is our will, our wisdom, and our mind are together. Is just exactly what I said. So I'm trying to get to see if this answers the great reset or the great awakening. Let's do one more. This is a great question. I'm not rushing through this one. Definitely, we are clearing the way. We're like we're in a very stable time from what they're telling us, and we are definitely getting to the great awakening. We are going to the great awakening. So, Cheryl, if I could sum this up for you, is this the great reset? I think that the reset already happened and we are now forging into the great awakening. And it's basically a matter of time. And let's see here. Dragon Wing says, what does she have here? Is it what I just said? Both reset in our standards and never go back. Yeah, we can't go back, but if you think about history, right, with their mud floods, they flooded everything out, they burned everything down. Chicago fires, Detroit fires, they were able to destroy documents, so on and so forth. And that's what brings me to my next thing, about these data centers, right? We constantly are erasing history. We're constantly, burying stuff. And when I say stuff, the once the planet gets washed over or something traumatic happens, and are they capable of doing that? Like, yeah, why not? They've done it so many other times in the past, right? So what are these data centers going to do? I'm still trying to put that piece in there. Maybe that's a question I should ask the cards. Is it going to hurt us or is it going to help us? This is what we really need to know. Thanks for your question, Cheryl, and thanks for the answer, Dragon Wings. I was getting to it probably about the same time that you put that in there. Yes, it is. It's both the reset. All right, so let's see what we got going here. How are the animals doing, Dragon Wings? Are you working with the animals or are you still planning on getting to that sanctuary? All right, so the question is the data centers, are they going to help us or hurt us? And obviously, I'm getting that it's a very intricate industry, and that's exactly what came up here. Okay, I get that, and it is being run by a very powerful. It's going to help us. You, I'm going to show you the card that I got as the final answer here. Maybe see if there's one more. What do you guys think this is? This is, if you could see this, let me know if you could see this. It's the Ark of the Covenant, and it's an 11. Tells me these data centers may help us, and I'm kind of sitting on this thing because I don't have enough information. Right? I'm kind of sitting on the fence between this because I know technology. And I know that they're working on the AI stuff. How powerful is this AI going to be? Because these buildings are the race is for the AI. What is it going to do to humanity? That's my question. Are you guys thinking along the same lines? Let's see here. Charlene. Hey, Charlene. How are you, sweetie? How are you doing? Are the data centers actually data centers or are they something else? Let me see here because that Ark of the Covenant, what do you guys think that is? Covenant, Covenant. It was gold, you guys. It was showing that it was gold. Let's see, but I'm going to ask Charlene's question. Are the data centers actually data centers or are they something else? Are they lying to us again? Are they faking us out? What's going on here? Oh my God, it's the architecture. Okay, got that. The architecture is in a shadow position, so it's not. Ooh, okay, it doesn't appear to be what we think that it is. It's going to end. So the last card that I got here was a 6, right? And it's roses, and it's everything roses is in relation to our loved ones, right? Our family, our children. And it's almost like what they're showing us is that the war with all of this is going to come to an end. It's going to come to a standstill. And I think that Charlene might be onto something that these data centers aren't actually what people are perceiving them to be. But I don't understand why it takes so much electricity and so much water. Or is that part of the bullshit? Suppress technology that is beneficial to humans. That could be their purpose. Let's see what we got here. Suppress technology that is beneficial to humans. Who said that one? Dragon wings. Let's see. Suppress technology that is beneficial to humans. You guys got to have more questions on this way. They definitely are clearing the way. Again, we're trying to it's almost as if there was always just so many. I guess I could say it. It's a deep state bullshit that isn't going to get away with the stuff anymore. Um, the kings of the forces. The kings of the forces are basically related to the animals in nature. Now I am really confused on this one here. So with that said, I'm going to ask Dragon Wings to kind of put her into it. Dragon Wings is very spiritual, very connected to the animals. And so the outcome of this one is the kings of the forces, and it's suppressing technology that are beneficial to humans, but it's showing me Mother Nature, and it's showing me that all the animals. All right. So, what are these data centers? They're expressing the energies behind these data centers is almost like the force of the energy of a willow tree. I'm going to put this in an easy way to understand this. And a willow tree has to be near a lot of water, right? A willow tree. Well, let me just say this: willow trees are planted near a lot of water. They absorb too much water. You guys see where I'm going with this? And so these data centers, I'm thinking that we're not being told everything at this time, and so I think there's more information to come out about them. So when I actually see the willow tree, how vibrant it is, you just got it's just a beam of light that comes out from these willow trees, and then prior to that one, the other cards that I pick about the animals, it just seems like it's not what we are expecting it to be. They're showing me a lot of nature and a lot of this, you guys, and it's all on the very positive side. So it's almost like we're all going to be benefiting from whatever it is that they are designing at this time to live a lot better and much more comfortable life, and not being held in a house and working so damn hard. Um, Kathy, hey Kathy, how you doing? Let's see what she says here. I forgot what show it was, but they said the water gets recycled back and reused eventually, and they'll be off planet. Um, so that's what I have here for you guys. Let's see. Dragon Wings is getting something here. The land and nature must be healed before we can heal. Then, yeah, I mean, how many of you guys know there? How many people for so many years, and I'm talking going back to the 70s, where people understood ley lines and understanding the healing and everything. But in what we're being shown, the negative stuff that I came out with is that they're eating up all the land, put up another parking lot type of thing, put up another data center. That's Joni Mitchell's song, right? And that's what she was complaining about in the 60s and the 70s. It's just the way that it was then, and it seems to be that way now. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Shoobop, shoobop, shoobop. So, with that said, now I can basically say very comfortably that there are a lot of shopping malls that are going away. The parking lots, right? The paved parking lots, all that is going away. Nobody will go to a huge mall, and there are many vacant out there. Maybe that's the land that they are taking. I don't know. All right. Any other questions out there? I'm thinking more along the lines of the healing, where Dragon Wings was basically saying, this is all about. Excuse me. Um, The land and nature must be healed before we can heal. But like I said earlier, they're building like crazy. They are building all these data centers. Um, and you know what really disturbs me a little bit here, you guys, is when they talk about AI and they talk about the robots. So I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to get into kumbaya. Okay, maybe the data centers, like you guys are saying, aren't necessarily what they're showing us them to be. Right? That's the way it always goes. It's everything is an illusion, right? And if everything is such an illusion, then why do they put stuff like this out here? And this to me was probably one of the most disturbing things that I've seen in a very long time. Let me play it for you. They actually have people cheering this on. This is the biodigital convergence. All right. So obviously, this is just a program that was written to lift the baby. Could have been to be lifting anything, but they're showing the baby bottle in the breast of a robot. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm done. I am so done with X. I'd rather look at nature than anything else out there. And yeah, I want to believe, and I think that I need to get my energy off of the mind of the data centers being a bad thing, and to take away something like our nature over here, to tear it up and put up another parking lot, that type of thing. Um, I don't know who to write to. I don't know. They said seven. We're going to be in Alabama. They're going to be building. Alabama has got so much land, not as much as Texas do, but they're putting in another aluminum center like they are in South Carolina. They're scheduled for 7 data centers out here. I guess I got to write to the governor, and our governor is Ivy, and she's on her way out, or she was just in the hospital. I don't know. She's like 90 or 100 years old. And then Tommy Tuberman, or whatever, the coach that worked very close to Trump, is going to be running for the governor for her spot. He's going to give up his Senate position. And maybe that's a guy that I write to and just say, what the hell is going on? When I see things like I just showed you guys with the robot feeding a baby, and to me, you know, on one way you can look at it and you can say, "Oh, that's the nanny, the robot nanny that just helps the baby and to feed." No, we need mama back in there. We need mom taking care of the baby. We need to be able to make life a lot easier, like it was in the 50s, where mom stayed home with the kids, or mom worked with the kids, or whatever it might be. You know, we're not messing with nature right now. We're not taking robot tigers and feeding baby tigers. You know what I'm saying, you guys? It's just like, here we thought we were on the top of our food chain, and we apparently are being so freaking messed with in our mind. Let's see here. Could the center be ley line connectors? I don't know. I'm gonna pull a card on that though. All right, let's see what else we have out here. Charlene says, "Oh my God, was that to the response of the robot? Because that was mine." I'm still cringing. Still cringing over that one. I really am. If I had to see it, so do you. All right, so who do we have? Dragon Wings out there says, "Could the center be ley line connectors? Could the data centers be ley line connectors?" That's a great question. I love the way she thinks. I love her mind. You guys got questions like this too, because I don't know if anybody else is out there decoding this stuff, but we're constantly hearing about the negative side of stuff, and I want to know about the positive side along with you guys. Could the data centers be ley lines connectors? Let's see what we get. All right, so the first thing that I'm actually getting is what are they creating? So it's something right now. Um, all right. This is I need more cards on this. Is All right. So the first thing that they're actually showing me is the creativity of all this and the communications. And I call the scrolls whenever I see scrolls in this stuff, and it is an eight of communications, and it's the path that is unknown right now. That is kind of on the basis of, along the question of what are these data centers, right? Are they on the ley line? Are they ley line connectors? And then I get URL in the Sphinx. So this is could be a possibility. I'm telling you that my dragon wings out there is unbelievable. This is what they're actually showing me. This is to me. So whoa, 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 come back. This is why I don't like to show the cards. With this camera, it has its a mind of its own. And all right, so then I flip one more card, and what's in the shadow is the reflection of it. So it's showing me that there's a lot of um, diversification that is actually going on with this. We're going to be hearing more about this in the near future. So when I see that these spiritual cards are coming up here, is for us to keep continuing connecting, like Dragonfly or Dragon Wings is. Excuse me. She is basically asking the questions: Are these data centers strategically planned? Where they're putting them. And that's something you can actually ask the AI out there. If anybody has access to the chat GBT or Grok right now, I mean, those are the type of things. It may not, you got to ask it in not in the, well, I guess you could ask it in the DCs, be the ley line connectors. Will it make that connection? I have no idea. I have Charlene that's asking me to ask a question right now because I'm kind of confused on this answer for about the ley lines. It came back with more spirituality. In other words, maybe I need to ask Janine, ask the cards when truth will be made great again, not what we have ever lived in truth. What? Wait, make sure I understand this. Janine, ask the cards when truth will be made great again, not that we have ever lived in truth. Yeah, we haven't lived in any truth. Truth is a freaking elite. Truth is evil. Up until now, it has been evil because the truth that benefited the evil people was just for them. It wasn't for us. If you were, if you wanted to make money, you did it the evil way. If you wanted power, you did it the evil way. Um, I said to my husband, if I were to die and come back, I want to come back in politics. And I never thought I would. That those words would come out of my mouth. And he said, "Why? Power is no good." And then right away I'm thinking, but I'm good, and I would do it for. I said to him, I would do it for the people. But in order to be able to, he's thinking like the world now, and I'm thinking the world in the future. I'm not thinking like it's going to continue being the way that it is. I would come back and make sure. And I said, all right, I won't come back in politics. What I'll come back is I want to do like be Doge, but for other areas. Doge for nature, Doge for building things, Doge for whatever. You can go on about all of this. And that's the only way. It's almost like we have to keep eyes on, this stuff. And there's too much information out there for people to get tripped up right now. We are in limbo, people. All right. Ask the cards when the truth will be made great again. We're not done making our chess moves, so the truth will be great again. When we rewrite, we're going to be rewriting not history, rewriting the laws, the rules, and it has to be done at various levels. And that is definitely giving me a 3 for the communications. And but I actually got that it's everything has to be torn down first before it can be rebuilt. And what I'm actually seeing through this one card right now is not the best thing. So I didn't think that I would get that kind of a message from that question. But once we do, it almost seems like there's so much deep state bullshit that we're still going to kind of go through right now. And then, but once that actually clears, then we'll get the right people in the right places, and then we'll basically be harmonized again. That's it doesn't give me like a timeline, but that's when it comes down to the truth. So, you know, what do you guys think? Are we going to? Do you think that there's just more bullshit that we have to go through in order to see this? I'm going to see if I can ask this question in a different way than how Charlene presented it to me. And I'm asking about humanity. Yes. So right now, you know what I basically in my mind, in my mind's eye, I asked about how humanity can help with this truth at this time right now, and it came back with the eight, the infinity. It's the forces, and it's not us, you guys. It works with us, working with humanity, but it's such a powerful thing. If you want to call it the universe, you want to call it creator, you want to call it God, and that's where we have to keep our faith and stay strong. But it will definitely bring us back to um, a very strong place that we want to be. It's our loving elements are going to come together. I'm not getting a timeline on this, but I am telling you right now is that it's going to come in very strong forces to us right now. All right. Yeah. And so, what does Charlene say here? And so we get along. So we got a long way to go in a short time to get there for my liking. Um, I actually said the other day when I was live that I had a horrible, horrible thought. And that thought was, what if we don't conquer everything that we want in this administration with Trump being in the place that he is, or whoever that mask man is, but it gets carried over another 4 years. So the people will be in the place, whoever these central casting actors are. And I had that thought, and my friend of mine said, "Oh my gosh, no, this shit's got to end now." But I'm kind of going along the path of Charlene, saying we've got a long way to go in a short amount of time. Time is an illusion. I just think that we're not in control of this. Humanity can help with prayers, with our will and our wisdom and our mind. So I have some work to do when I see bullshit like this on the data centers. When I actually see stuff where I don't understand what is actually going on. I don't see any explanations of anything. So what do? I will get into my alignment. I will get with my higher self. I will pray. I will call on all the archangels, and I will just say, "Show me peace. Show peace to the world. Show peace and love, and get us all grounded. Show me what it is that I need to learn from this more than anything, um, instead of thinking like a freaking human that has been brainwashed from television, from music, from all the evil things that they have done to make it so convenient for them." Phyllis, I agree with you. We need to manifest a positive outcome, and that is our truths. Uh, One second. So, do we pray for the healing? Do we pray for protection? I would say we pray for the world. If you guys remember Michael Jackson, We Are the World, he knew all this stuff, right? We pray for healing and strength, right? It's that type of thing. And maybe that is more of what we need to do, whether it's a scripture or if it's just a regular prayer, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You could talk about physical strength, emotional strength, all of those things. So my heart feels heavy and my spirit is weary, and I come to you seeking your strength. Lift the burden of anxiety and fear from all of our souls and fill us with peace that surpass all understanding. Help us to stand firm when doubt rises and trust in unfailing love, and surround us with comforting presence and remind us that we're never alone. Strengthen our minds to focus on the promises rather than fears. Give us courage to face each day with hope and resilience. Teach us to lean fully on you, whatever source it might be, knowing that your power is made us perfect in my weakness. um, let your spirit fill us with joy and calm renewing in each of our hearts at this time. And that's all that I have. That's all that I really have. And you know what? There needs to be more. Everybody's talking about going back to church. Trump talked about Jesus. They're putting people back into places of worship, and then you have the people that basically will worship in their own home and believe in that, whatever your belief system is. But if you really take a look at it, all the lines are connected to one particular source, or whatever it might be. Everybody has illusions about a lot of different things. We don't have the answers because we're human. We came here to have a human experience, to understand this on each level, and each person needs to understand this at their own level, at their own pace. And that's all that I can ask for at this time for each of us, right? And as Dragon Wing says, so be it. You better believe it. So when I come on here and I get my feathers all in a flurry or whatever when I'm seeing this stuff, is because I don't have answers. I'm not seeing answers. And so maybe that might be a good time for me to go into prayer and just ask, what is this? And maybe get the answers that way. I try to do that with the cards. I do try to do that with the cards, and I saw it in one of them where it just didn't look like, again, we have to understand what the spiritual stuff is and what we are actually committed to, and that's what this is. It's ending with commitment. It's one single rose, which is you. You are the rose, and what is your commitment to your faith and your beliefs? That's all that I have. If anybody has any other questions, I'll just end it on that note. I appreciate each and every one of you for stopping in here today, and I'm so glad that we got the sound worked out. And this was meant to be, because I was going to exit out, but with the help of, I think it was Cheryl, got me to understand what was broken, and I didn't realize that. But thank you guys. And so next time we start hearing some things, let's all get together and let's talk about this, and let's just try to come to a place of understanding within ourselves. Thank you. God bless. And I'll see you guys real soon.